Superstition. The hardened materialist professes to believe in nothing but what he can see and feel. He says that the Catholic is superstitious because he believes in many things that he can neither see nor feel. The Catholic believes in God, in the soul, in a future life, in heaven and in hell, and as none of these things can at present be seen or felt, the Catholic is clearly superstitious. The ordinary Protestant, too, agrees that the Catholic is guilty of superstition. For the Catholic believes in the Mass, in the real presence of Jesus Christ in the Blessed Sacrament, and in purgatory. And to the ordinary Protestant, all these beliefs are superstitious. However, it is of no great interest to us to know that Catholics are superstitious in the opinion of materialists and Protestants. The religious views of materialists and Protestants do not command universal respect. What is of more importance is to know whether there is any ground in reality and in truth for saying that Catholics are superstitious. All moral virtue consists of a mean between two extremes, a golden mean between two vicious extremes. Liberality, for example, is the virtue which should be our guide in the use of money. It teaches us when reasonably to spend money and when to exercise thrift. We can fall away from the virtue of liberality by inclining either to the extreme of defect or to the extreme of excess. If we fall into the extreme of defect, we become avaricious, greedy, stingy. If we fall into the opposite extreme of excess, we become prodigal and spendthrift. There are people who cannot keep money. If they have any, they must spend it somehow. It seems to burn a hole in their pockets. Again, the virtue of meekness teaches us how to control our temper. The man who possesses this virtue is never angry, but when he should be angry, and he is never more angry than the occasion requires. But it is easy to fall into vicious extremes, either from defect or excess. The man falls into the extreme of defect in meekness, who gives way to anger for little or no reason, or if there be a reason. He cannot govern his temper, and he allows it to become excessive. It is a rarer vice, but still, it sometimes happens that a man suffers from excess of meekness. He is too placid, too yielding, and does not get angry even when there is good cause for it. Be angry and sin not. The virtue of religion teaches us to worship the true God, and what sort of worship we ought to render him. It is the highest and the most important of all the moral virtues, for it teaches us our first and most important duty, which is to fulfill our obligations to our Creator and Lord, to whom we owe our being and all things. Like all other moral virtues, religion has two vicious extremes. On the side of defect, the man sins who does not acknowledge God or worship him. He has no time for religion, or he is not interested in it. It does not appeal to him. But it is also possible to sin against religion by excess, and excess in religion is the vice of superstition. The very form of the word is an indication of this excess. It may be committed either by giving divine worship to a creature, or by giving the true God a worship which he does not want, and which is displeasing to him. Not only idolaters, who worship idols, but spiritualists and necromancers are guilty of the sin of superstition. For spiritualists and necromancers seek by unlawful means to unlock secrets which God for wise reasons does not wish them to know. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God shall give thee, beware lest thou have a mind to imitate the abominations of those nations. Neither let there be found among you anyone that shall expiate his son or daughter, making them to pass through the fire, or that consulteth soothsayers, or observeth dreams and omens. Neither let there be any wizard, nor charmer, nor anyone that consulteth pythonic spirits or fortune-tellers, or that seeketh the truth from the dead. The practices of spiritualists are then forbidden by God, and they are a virtual invitation to evil spirits to intervene in the lives of men. Spiritualists have dealings with evil spirits who are the enemies of God. They are guilty of treason against him and of trafficking with his enemies. Moreover, although the messages received through spiritualism may sometimes be true, yet they are often false, and frequently it is impossible to distinguish whether they are true or false. In other words, the beliefs and practices of spiritualists are a kind of false religion. They are rightly called superstitious beliefs and practices.